This tutorial is to show you how to use a new version of Wellcharts, version 10 Wellcharts, which is a new charting engine. We would click on version 10 if we wanted to use the new charting engine, or version 9, which is the previous version of Wellcharts for backward compatibility with your previous graphs. Using a new version of Wellcharts, if you click on that, the form is very similar to version 9 of Wellcharts. We would, as usual, as before in version 9, define the files that we're going to work with. So these are the files which we have information that we need to extract from. And typically we have different file numbers. We start with file number 1, and we would select or drag and drop the file name from Explorer into this text box. But let's select, in this case here, select, and I'm going to use the samples folder, and I previously run a simulation run called waterflow V42.dat. And then this output file is the well file, the well summary file. I'm going to select that, and I can select multiple files. So I'm going to try to compare my simulation run file with my historical data to see how good a match I have obtained. So I would go to file number 2 and select that file, and I would select my historical data file. A historical data file that contains the historical rates of the wells in this run. And I can choose file number 3, and I can choose for file number 3, I want to choose a pressure history file, a .pre file. Or if I have, in this case, a none, but if I had a fully developed historical user-defined file, I would use the HUS file. So that's the file types that I can use in this particular option here. So let me go ahead and choose the pressure file. And then once I got, in this case, 3 files, and that's all I need in this particular example, I will process, means read the file information to find out what wells are available in this file. You would choose the first selected file to find out all the wells available in this chart sequence. So let's click on OK to process files. And here we have this very similar form to version 9. And here we have a list of charts to build, and currently it's blank. We can create a new chart by defining it ourselves, or we can use the standard charts option to build predefined chart series for every single well in the simulation run file. Let's show standard charts. In standard charts, we have options for oil pool, gas pool, steam recovery, multi-wells. So the only difference between this is the default series that will be selected for the different types of pools. For the oil pool, we click on the oil pool, the standard graphs for the oil pool would be oil rate, gas ratio, water ratio. This will be plotted by default on the left hand side of the graph, and the average well pressure will be plotted on the right hand side of the graph. This graphs of individual wells. For each well, we're going to show rates and ratios, and we're going to show maybe in the graph title as well. We're going to show the well name, and we can show the well number in the graph title. The left hand side will be by default the log axis, or it can be linear axis, and we can put a title to the left hand side if we wish to. The right hand side will be a linear axis. You also create for us graphs of cumulative production, one for each well, and by default the series will be the cumulative oil production, cumulative gas, cumulative water production by default on the left hand side, but you have options for the right hand side or none. Left hand side axis will be by default linear, right hand side will be linear. So we'll click OK to that, and it creates now in this list of charts the chart number, so by sequentially chart number. And for each one, you have the chart name, which is the well number and the well name itself. And we have 2 sets of graphs. We have the rate graphs, and then we have the cumulative graphs following on the rate graphs. Okay, now for each of these graphs, what this option has done for us is to create a graph definition, a chart definition. If we were to click on one of them, for example, and edit that, you will see what the definition is. The definition is essentially the title of that chart using the axis number, a figure number, the label on the axis, a file name on the axis, a well number, a location, a series that we have used the default template for, patterns, multipliers, and series labels. So that is created for us for every single, for every single well in the first file. It has created a chart definition saying for those files, extract from those files this series and put them into a format that can be charted. So if we click on any of this, we now have an option. We can build, we can display, or we can build and display. Building means for those chart series from those files selected, extract from the file the tables of data as represented by the selected series. And build them means just build it, just extract it, but do not graph it, do not show the chart. This display means show the chart. Take the tables of numbers that we have extracted and draw the lines of symbols and colors on the axis as required, showing us how the chart looks like. So build and display charts does two of them at the same time. Let's take one of them. Build and display chart. So by default, the very first chart that we selected is a fill rates, and it's showing us a graph of the title, the green for the oil rate by default. We can change that. The red for gas oil ratio, and the blue for water oil ratio, and black dots for pressures. So we have, in this case, show a list of displayed charts. We will display one chart. We have displayed one chart. Now, sometimes it's useful to build all the charts first. So if we build all the charts, we want to build selected charts. So we can select all the charts and build them. And graph number 1 has been drawn, so we're going to overwrite that. It's going to build all the charts. Done. And these are the list of charts that is built for us. So we can save these build charts, and that save file is the extension .exe. Let's call that water flood demo and save it. So this is a save file of the build charts. We have extracted the data already, and it's saved in extension .exe. So we can now exit from this, and if you want to, you can save these definitions, which is basically what file to use, what series to use. We can save that as a ext file, and we can call it water flood .ext and save it. And now we can exit out of that. So this first tutorial shows you how to define the charts for the series that you want, build the charts, and then to display the charts. We did go into more detail in the next tutorial on well charts. Thank you for your attention.